Hey guys, look, you're probably wondering what all this is. This is my emotional baggage. Jealous. Hey there guys, my name's Lapo and today we're talking about exes. Yay. Now I understand in most forums it's not really okay to talk trash about your exes, and so I'm not really gonna do that here. At least I'm gonna try my best not to do that. I think I'm gonna need a drink for that. But before we get into anything else, I'm gonna tell you guys a small story to help you guys understand my mentality as a young boy going through life, I guess. So in the 7th or 8th grade, there was this guy in band class, and I can't remember for the life of me how the subject came up, but we were talking about girls. And I asked him, I said, hey, who do you have a crush on right now? And he looked at me without missing a beat, and he says, all of them. And I was like, what? Like all of the girls in our grade? All of the girls in band? He said, all of them. Wow. This level of pure, honesty was just like this wave upon me. I had no idea anyone was even allowed to say something so honest. Because really, at that age, yeah, kinda. Yeah? But I digress. I just need you to understand that because it'll make sense a little later. Let's move on. So in this story about love, loss, and redemption, we're gonna talk about 4 women. 4. I dated quite a bit more than 4, but whenever people talk about my relationships in my youth, I generally bring up these 4. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to change the names of each of the women just because it's the right thing to do. It's for their benefit and my own. And honestly, at the end of the day, if they end up watching this, they'll probably know it was them anyways. Especially you, Lizzie. You know what you did. Either way, let's get started. Mary's introduction to my life was actually pretty strange. You see, I was actually super into her sister, Jenna, and the problem was that Jenna was 2 classes above me. Yeah, already there was that rift, okay, and there was probably no chance of me ever getting with her. And in order for me to fully get that concept, she sent her sister, Mary, to tell me that. And so, yes, Mary and I had a conversation outside of, I think it was a production for choir or something like that. I don't know. But yes, we had a little talk and she was like, yo, Jenna doesn't want to be mad rude, yo, but
you're kinda like a toddler to her.
And I was like, whoa, I guess age really isn't a number. Either way, we got to talking and I don't know, we kind of just hit it off. It was cool. We ended up doing a lot of choir related things together. We did choir and her friends were in there and I got to meet a lot of her friends too and they were pretty cool. The big thing about that relationship in particular was the idea that it was the first time I actually started doing stuff outside of school with another person. Because when you're young, a lot of times you only see your girlfriend or other person inside of school and that's pretty much it. You don't have a car yet because you can't drive, but at this point you start being able to have friends who have cars and you start being able to go out and do dates, I guess. Now, I don't know how they remember me, but I remember her friends being relatively cool and it felt it felt normal. I guess that's the biggest takeaway from the whole relationship was that a sense of normalcy is good. Normalcy is fine. It doesn't have to feel like a constant struggle and wondering if they're still into you and things like that. That was never how I felt during it. And yeah, progress. Well, now you're probably like, well, that sounds like a pretty healthy relationship, Delapo. You seem pretty happy. Why did it end? It ended on an amicable note. I don't remember any fireworks or anyone being particularly angry about the situation, but it did end. The reason why, I'll tell you in a little bit. Just know that it was on me and I accept full responsibility for that. Ellie was actually the last girl I dated in Avon. Honestly, she's really only on this list because she taught me the importance of being yourself. And I understand that sounds super duper corny, but that's something that a lot of people don't really get the benefit of, especially really early in a relationship, because there's this old adage that when you start a relationship, you're supposed to lie until you're comfortable enough to show them little bits of yourself until, the full pictures there. And really, at the end of the day, that notion sounds really, really gross. Like, I really hate that. But that's something that a lot of people subscribe to. Now, to a certain degree, I get it. It's not like I'm like, oh, that's like this crazy thing. No, I get it. I mean, we want to put our best foot forward always, and we don't want to show any negative parts of ourselves because that would most likely chase them away or, you know, scare them or whatever. But yeah, being yourself, the person that you're with, is so important, you know? But yeah, all in all, that's like one of the greatest lessons a person can learn and strive for, you know, is to find someone who can accept you. And that was nice. That was nice to find. I don't even talk to her that often anymore. Like, actually, I don't really talk to her at all. She's kind of a hippie now, which, I mean, ew. No, I'm just kidding. Could you imagine? Let's talk about toxicity. The beautiful thing about youth and love is that when you're young, no one can tell you that you're not in love. Doesn't matter how many people, like literally every person on earth, all 7 billion could be like,
hey, you're in a toxic relationship. You should get out of that.
And you'd be like, get out of my face. You don't know what love is, everyone on earth? But after 2 years on and off with this person, you would have thought I would have learned something, but not at the time. Lizzie and I had a very bad start to everything. We met at a church softball game. She came up the hill and me and my youth group friends were kind of just hanging out. You know, she was new. We wanted to introduce ourselves. We were like, hey, what's up? And she was all like, do you have any idea who I am, where I'm from? My boyfriend's great and he's better than all of you guys. I mean, like, who does that? I don't know. It was really bad. I hated her from the beginning. Well, there was this fall festival thing and everyone was just trying to have a good time. She and I get into an argument and we both throw our drinks on each other. It was bad. Like, honestly, outside looking in, these two people should never get together, like ever. And because of the on and off nature of the relationship, it constantly bled into other relationships I was trying to have or did have. I must have thought she was like really hot. It ended like any relationship like this should and would end. There was like a total nuclear explosion. No, it was more a realization on my part that if you're not bringing out the best in each other, then what's the point? You know, there are people who get together and all they do is like fight, bicker, and just make each other worse, both internally and to other people. And that was basically what was happening. And it was just a lot better for my mental just walk away from it. And that was not easy to do. Trust me. Natalia is actually entirely the reason why this video was made. You see, Natalia and I never actually dated. What? I really could do an entire video on this, but I'm actually really tired of telling this story, and I feel like this is a really good way for me to finally get it out for the last time. So let's begin. So I met her in a class. I can't really remember what class it was. Could have been English, could have been math. I think it might have been chemistry. I think that works more thematically, so let's just say it was chemistry. She and I chatted it up a lot, and I found that she was a pretty cool person. She was nice and artsy. I was kind of into that, and yeah, I kind of decided to pursue some things, but like in a sly, cool way. When I got nominated for Homecoming Prince, I was like, hey, Natalia, would you like to walk with me on the soccer field in front of people we don't know? Because I have no chance of winning this thing. So that should be fun, right? Either way, after that, I decided to actually try courting her. And I mean, opportunity struck because there was this candygram thing going around our school. Now, I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy her a candygram, right? Because people like candy. But I've got to make a proper message. I got to be like a really cool guy about this. So I'm gonna ask her friend Shelly, about the things that she really likes and what she would find funny and entertaining and stuff, and see if I can get on the inside track. Little did I know that Shelly was an absolute dumpster of a person. So I asked Shelly for advice, and it turns out that Shelly and her had actually had a few conversations about me. See, I had actually known Shelly for quite some time before this. See, she was also a band person from the previous years, and we'd come through band together for quite a while, and yeah, so I knew her. Well, she had told Natalia that I am, for lack of better phrasing, a player. And I'm just sitting there like, a player? Really? So I asked her to elaborate, and she's like, yeah, you date around a lot. Like, you just have a lot of girlfriends and you don't date them for very long. Now, internally, I was fuming, because I'm like, what? Like, I don't understand why that even matters. I mean, we're like 15 years old. What am I supposed to marry them? You know what? I feel like I'm coming across really defensive. So let's just go ahead and scrap that and fast forward a little bit. So to get some clarification, I decided to go to Natalia and ask her, what's up? She tells me something similar, about the whole player thing, but there's like more to it. She's like, yeah, I got into a really bad relationship with this guy, ended really, really badly, and I'm not gonna date anyone until after high school. So you're probably sympathizing with her, She got out of a really bad relationship. She needs time to heal and process. Delapo, you should be more understanding. All right, fine. I'll be more understanding. That's cool, whatever. Keep in mind, this was not that long before I moved. So now I've moved away. It's been a little while now, life goes on, everything's cool. All right, I find out that a few months after I had left Indiana, she began dating one of my good friends, Charles. I am not now, nor have I ever been upset with Charles. Frankly, I don't even think he ever knew about any of this, so this has never been his fault. But I mean, there's gotta be some sort of a moral here, right? Like, why would I be telling this fable-like tale if there wasn't a moral? Is it that past relationships can shape how you view future ones? Well, yeah, duh. I mean, obviously. But I think it's more about how past relationships affect you. Not just in, your romantic relationships, but your relationships you have with other people. The things that you value from relationships with other people tend to change. One of the biggest things Natalia taught me was that in a relationship, romantic or not, you have a choice to make after it ends. You can either sit there and be bitter about it for 10 years, or you can make funny videos about it. I think I made the right call. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I know that this format is like kind of weird to talk about exes in, but it's something that needed to come out of me and into the ether, so yeah. So I've got to ask you guys, do you guys have any weird relationship stories? Have you ever had a relationship end and teach you something? Let me know what that lesson was. And of course, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned next week for more of this.